chapter 26, pasuk 16. Tes Zayin. Yeah, you have it actually. Let's go back over here. Start from B'nai God.
With B'nai God and Mishpachas Son. The sons of God according to the families. That's Tzafon.
It's Tzafon, yes.
Mishpachas HaTzafoni.
The Chagi.
Mishpachas HaChagi.
Yeah, carry on.
The Sunni.
The Shuni.
The Shuni Mishpachas HaShuni.
Okay, next. The Ozni.
The Ozni and Mishpachas HaOzni.
The
Eri
Eri.
and Mishpachas HaEri.
Okay, now so we see, this Rashi is going to point out again, I mentioned this yesterday, that Rashi is comparing the way the names of the sons of Yaakov, or the grandsons of Yaakov, are mentioned in Parashat Vayigash, and the way they're represented here, they're stated here. So Rashi's got a problem over here, that there was no son of Ozni. I'll read it out for you just a second.
You got it, 16. You got it, 16, is it?
Parshas Vayigash. Bnei God. Tzifyon v'chagi shuni v'etzbon eri v'arodi v'areli. So they mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sons mentioned in Parshas Vayigash. And now over here in the sons of God, we've got Tzifyon, which is Tzfon. So Rashi takes it that's the same. Chagi is Chagi. Shuni is Shuni. Now Etzbon you have over here, but you don't have that here. You have Ozni. Ozni is not mentioned over here. And then you have Eri, Aroidi, Aroid or Aroidi, and Areli. So Rashi says, that's what Rashi is going to make a comment now. So are you ready for the read the Rashi?
Yep.
The Ozni.
The Ozni is...
Go over the page. You ready over the page? The Rashi over the page. This side.
Ozni Omer
Ani
Shazu Mishpachas Etzbon.
Right. I said this is the family of Etzbon. Meaning that's the son of God who's called Etzbon here in Parshas Vayigash. Okay? So he was now known as the Ozni family. It says Rashi, Ve'eni yodea
Lama lo nikros
Mishpachto al Shema. I don't know why his family wasn't called by his original name, Etzbon, and now he's called a different name, Ozni. Okay?
Can I ask you something, please?
Yes.
A very relevant question, a stupid question. Why are we concerned, what's it got to do with our religion, to know about the Aridites, the Arielites, Ozanites? As you talked about, maybe Yaakov's family, it's interesting, but why do they even take the trouble? I know it's very good to write recording, but who they...
What would we learn from that?
What do you know, we're learning anything from it. What about who's the Puvas and the Punites and the Yeshivites? If they're like, regarded in later history, it's interesting.
So, if you go look in Sefer Yehoshua, you see that the land was divided out according to these families.
Right, okay.
Otherwise, you haven't got a good question.
Well, we must have, it's a record, I know, it's very important.
I don't know.
I can relate to, my wife's family, they go back to 3,000 years ago. And it's something that...
what family was their family name?
I can't remember, it was something they fed the animals to, and it was something, it was from a fig tree or something like that, and they could relate it to his, it's called Balas. And it was very similar, it was a quote in the Judges, also, it was something like that, but they could relate it to that. So what, it's nice for them, but I know you said it relates to the people who've got the land, so what again? So
what difference is there? What the thing? I don't know.
But it's important, obviously. So
okay, I hear what you're saying, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think there's one principle is that when you learn how important it is, the fact that the Torah, which is very terse and doesn't say waste any words, goes out of its way to list all these names.
And
shows us how important it is to Hashem to to keep track of yichus, to keep track of families, to mention people's names. That's just a general, it's not specific to this, but it's just a general principle.
Yeah, there is an idea, but I don't know why each one name has to be mentioned separately. What Rashi mentioned before, that each one, Kosh Baruch Hu, will have his name, Yud and Gay, to Yud's end and Hey at the beginning,
Right.
to show that Kosh Baruch Hu testifies to the purity of that family. But
Right.
I don't know, more, so it could be that's why the Torah was particular to mention each family separately. No exceptions.
But these names don't seem to. Have you met anyone called Hezron? Surname Hezron?
I want to tell you something.
Or have you met anyone called
Family
Torah?
names
Yeah.
was an introduction, basically introduced in Europe
Ah.
by Napoleon.
Right.
I know
Oh,
that.
oh,
Before that, or certainly the registry of births and deaths and everything like that.
I'm sweating, bro. Sorry. I can't breathe in here with no air circulation.
What I want to say, so the Maisa, most of the family names among Jewish people, they were different. They were dependent on different countries. But the Maisa, commonplace to have family names was only something which was introduced about 200 years ago,
Oh.
time of Napoleon. Otherwise, you had just was called by his father's name.
Right.
I mean, for instance, one of my wife's uncles was was his hobby to what they call mishpachology, right? And looking into roots and things like that. So he looked into my family roots. First, my family name Moore was not an original name. My father changed the name. The original family name was Moses.
Oh.
And he traced it back to the fact that the original first person to take on the name Moses was somebody called Hirsch Moses. Hirsch Moses lived about 250 years ago in Germany, and he was Hirsch, was Tzvi ben Moshe. So therefore he took on the name Moses because that was his father's name. Hirsch Moses was that. So therefore, actually, in recent years, some German, I think, lady, whatever, was commissioned by the very distant cousins of ours. Anyway, Kitzer, I have a whole family tree going back to this Hirsch Moses, where all his descendants. By the name Moses, how we all related and everything like that.
Well, they take it from the country they come from, like Berlin or
Well,
town.
actually, most of those who,
Or trade.
most of the Moses family who survived, who managed to flee Germany before the war, right? It's very interesting. Till about 150 years ago, was for those first 100 years, almost the entire family were concentrated in one or two villages right next to each other. Nobody spoke. They all married into those families, Jewish families around there. That was it. They didn't spread.
Yeah, but they're named after, not Moses, I'm talking about other families. Jewish families are named after the trade they were in,
Right.
trade, or the town they were in.
Right.
Now, I have a friend who comes
What's
to
their characteristics?
Yeah, that's right.
Like Klein
yeah.
and Schwartz.
Well, fun enough,
It's
there
interesting.
was...
Different countries, different. Most people called Klein and Schwarz actually came from Hungary,
Ah,
and in Hungary, they're generally the family names which were allotted to them were not necessarily so complimentary, right? So Klein and Schwarz was already not so bad, but there's some other very, very, very uncomplimentary names.
I mean, you get a Sephardi family now from Turkey. We're talking about 100 years later, it's been 100 years, but they become Sephardi, but actually they came from Eastern Europe and referred to Ashkenazi when they came to Turkey, which is Sephardi.
Yeah, so you have
they call themselves
that's
Ashkenaz.
it's also an interesting rule.
Yeah.
Any family that's called Ashkenazi was probably other Sephardi. Why is that? Because they came originally from Europe and settled in a
That's
Sephardi
right, yeah,
country,
yeah.
Right.
and they says, "Oh, you're a foreigner. Your name is Ashkenazi." But then they ended up being Sephardi.
That's right, yeah.
Or similarly,
Right.
you have the family named Deutsch. Deutsch means German. Most of these families called Deutsch are from Hungary. But they originally started from Germany, and they ended up in Hungary, and they got the name. Well, you came from Germany, so you got the name Deutsch, right? But they might say afterwards the number of generations they were in Hungary.
Right.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Verse 7.
Okay, let's continue. Now there's a bit of reading on Mordechai. Are you up to reading? Okay. Let's read the pasuk. Let's skip here. Nothing on the Yehuda. Let's read from pasuk Chav Gimel. We have Pasuk Chav Gimel, bottom of the page there. B'nei Yisachar.
B'nei Yisachar, the Mishpachosam, Tola, Mishpachas HaTolai,
Fuva.
Uva, Mishpachas HaPuni.
Yeah. Okay, no Rashi on that. Next Pasuk. The Yoshuv.
Miyashuv, Mishpachas HaYeshuvi, Mishimron, Mishpachas HaShimroni.
Shimron. Okay, now here again, Rashi's going to ask a similar question. Yoshuv does not appear among the sons of Yisachar in Parshas Vayigash. It says, Tola ufuva v'yov v'shimron. So here we've got Tola mentioned, Fuva, and Shimron, but Yoshuv is mentioned instead of Yov. Okay, that's what Rashi is going to point out over here. Pasuk Chav Dalet. The Yoshuv, you have the Rashi, the Mordechai. Third line here. And the Rashi, on this page, you have it? First column, third line.
Miyashuv, Hu Yov.
Hu Yov. Right? He's the same as, he's synonymous with Yov, Ha'omor B'Yodi Mitzrayim. It was mentioned among the Yodi Mitzrayim. He called her, carry on, Ki
Kol HaMishpachos Nikru
Al Shem.
Yoyridei Mitzrayim.
All the family clans were called by the names of those who went down to Egypt. Whereas there weren't more than 70, or actually 69 family names. Okay? There's not more than 69 family groups, clans, let's call them.
Well, there were only 70 people. How could there be 69?
No, that included Yaakov. Okay?
Hashem.
But those are people, not families.
No,
Each
so,
person-
you're right. So there was less actually. If you want to actually count here in Parshas Vayigash, how many sons are there besides the tribes themselves? How many bnei Reuven, Chanoich, Ufalu, Chetzon, V'Charmi? It's 4. Shimon, Yumuel, V'Yamin, V'Oihad, V'Yochim, V'Tzoichar. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Shaul, 6. That's together 10. Levi, well, Levi separate. So you've got Shelah, Peretz, and Zorach, and Chetzon v'Chobel. So that's another fact. Okay, I haven't got time now to spend up to actually calculate it. Rashi's going to mention it here.
Excuse me, sometimes Rabbi,
Yes.
sometimes they say 69 came, and who was the other person? Hashem. I read a commentary, when they came into Egypt, they were 69, 69, and who was the 70? Hashem.
Well, when Rashi learns it was Yocheved. She was born.
Yeah, well, I've also heard Hashem.
Okay, could be. But anyway, Rashi's going to go on to explain how many families there were with. Okay? Yeah. Okay, now, Rashi's going to say, continue with it. V'hanulodim misham v'hala. Those who are born from then on, meaning those who are born in Mitzrayim, lo nikra mishpachas al shmam. Right? The families are not called by their name, with the exception, chutz min mishpachos Ephraim and Menashe, except the families of Ephraim and Menashe. Shenoldu kulam in Mitzrayim, means Ephraim and Menashe themselves, and their offspring all born in Mitzrayim. Okay? And the Ard v'Namon, right? Ard and now it's not Ard v'Namon, who were the sons of Bela, the sons of Binyamin, meaning the grandson of Binyamin. Okay, now Rashi's going on to explain what's going on here.
Another question.
Yes.
Were Ephraim and Menashe, were they included in the 70 since they were already
Yes.
there? They were.
Yes, Yosef, Ephraim and Menashe, they made it, there were 66. If you look at the calculation over here, there's 66 offspring of Yaakov actually went down to Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then there was Yosef and his 2 sons in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And the total makes 70.
Right.
No, 66 plus 3 doesn't make 70. That's what Rashi goes and explains. That was Yocheved wasn't included because she wasn't born when they left Egypt. When they left Canaan, but she was born on the way as they went into Egypt.
So they view it, I think if I remember, the extension of that or can be compared to that when we got into where we are in England, what do you call it, outside Israel, into exile.
Yes.
It's like Hashem goes with us. I think that was the idea of mentioning that.
Okay, I see what it means. Right. Now, Rashi is going to explain. Matzasi b'Yesoidish Rabbi Moshe Hadarshan. Rabbi Moshe Hadarshan was one of the rabbis of Rashi, and he wrote a sefer HaYesod, right? The fundamentals, I don't know how to express it with it. The meaning, it's like it was in the main a book about grammar, sefer about grammar, but it also explained different midrashim and things like that, different explanations. And Moshe Hadarshan was one of Rashi's rabbis. Okay, so he says, "Not Sosim Yesedish and Moshe Hadarshan, Shioda Imon leMitzrayim, Kishoisim Uberes." That the mother of Arad and Naaman, who was the son of Bela, their mother went down to Mitzrayim when she was pregnant. Nehem. Lekach nechluku leMishpochis Kechetzim v'Chomer. Shoyu b'nei Bonim liYehuda. Seeing that they are divided up as families, just like Chetzim and Chomer were the grandsons of Yehuda. V'chevo Malkiah shoyu b'nei Bonim Shalosh. Means some of the grandchildren were already born when they left Canaan, went down to Mitzrayim. Those families are mentioned as separate families over here. So Rashi says comments about that. V'im agoda hi harei tov. If it's coming to just to make an agadic explanation, not the straightforward explanation, the Poshet Pshat, but just as agoda, then that's okay. I can accept it. In love, but if not, it says, this is coming to explain the actual simple interpretation. So Rashi wants to explain, why is it? Doesn't mean that these were born already when they went down to Egypt. Rashi doesn't want to accept that because Rashi says no grandchildren of the tribes are mentioned bichlal of those who went down to Egypt. So the Chayra, only the children of the tribes are mentioned, but not any grandchildren. So if so, that Bela had many grandchildren, from these two grandsons, Arad ben Amon, Yotza Mikol Echad Mishpacha Rabba. There was a much larger family, meaning they justified having a separate family clan on their name. The Nikra told the Shabonim al Shem Bela. They told us Hashnayim Halolu Nikra al Shmo. Meaning, of Bela's offspring, most of Bela, the children, were called part of the Bela clan. But since Arad and Naaman, these two sons of Bela, had so many children, they justified having a clan under their own name. That's basically what he's saying. Who's the son of Menashe. One family is called the Mochir family, because of his children. The Achas Nikras al Shem Gilad Benoi. Why? Because Gilad had by himself, had a very large family and a lot of offspring, so therefore Gilad is justified to having an own separate family clan besides the rest of the children of his father, who has his brothers and everything. They weren't such large families, so therefore they came under the category, under the heading of the Mochir clan, whereas Gilad, the son of Mochir, he had such a large family in his own right, so therefore he had a separate clan called under his name Gilad. Okay, now Rashi comments as a postscript here. Chamisha mishpachas chosru mibonav shel Binyamin. Okay, 5 families are missing from the sons of Binyamin, which is later. Maybe there's only 5 of them mentioned. I'm going from Lamed Ches and Lamed Tes. What's the Lamed Ches and Lamed Tes? Right? 5 families are missing from the sons of Binyamin. Kan niskaima mitzas nevuas imoy. Here is fulfilled partially the nevuah of his mother, Shekarosu ben Oini, the son of my mourning, my grief, ben Aninus, Ober Pilegesh begiva, and the incident with Pilegesh begiva, which I'm going to explain to you in a minute, Niskai Makula, then it was filled entirely, that almost the entire tribe of Binyamin was wiped out. The concubine and Giva, I'm going to explain what that is. This I found in the explanation of, in the Yesod, that is the name of the Sefer of Rav Moshe Adash. Now what happened in Pilegesh begiva? A terrible Maisa happened. Somebody, I can't remember which tribe he was, came with his concubine, and they came to Pilegesh. They came to visit somebody in the tribe of Binyamin, and they wanted to find a place where to stay. And nobody would let them in. So then they had to sleep out in the street. And this concubine, wife of this person, she was lying out in the street, and the people there of the tribe of Binyamin took her and defiled her and treated her, abducted her and abused her in a terrible way, to the extent, right, that she died. They assaulted her in such a way that in the end she died. And the husband was extremely upset at the fact that none of the people there, they allowed the people of Binyamin, besides the fact that those who actually had perpetrated this despicable act, and not only that, the other people there had let it happen, the fact that nobody had taken them in as a guest, that they should have at least a place to sleep.
No, yeah, it had gone on all night.
Right. Anyway, so he sent, I don't know what the idea behind this, he cut up her body, and he sent a piece of her body to each one of the tribes, the rest of the tribes, and he says, we can't tolerate this, what happened. He went to the best, and so there became a major civil war between the tribe of Binyamin and the rest of the tribes. And the end result was both sides lost a tremendous amount, and the whole tribe of Binyamin was almost entirely wiped out, except for a few hundred men. And the end was that they came and made a peace, and these few hundred men were given wives, whatever, from a special thing they made, that they should, certain women should marry them, and they can be able to, that the tribe of Binyamin should be able to continue.